When you awaken spiritually, the familiar world takes on an entirely new hue. You feel as if you've been asleep, only to wake up to a reality far more vivid and meaningful than you ever imagined. This change might startle those around you, as it shifts you from complexity to simple, yet profound existence. Awakening doesn't knock on your door. It simply walks in, leaving an indelible mark on your being. It's a deep silence, not of emptiness, but of untold richness. In this newfound stillness, you don't just find yourself. You find a universe teeming with life and interconnectedness. When you awaken, you realize that you're more than just your thoughts. It's like waking up from a dream where you thought your thoughts defined you. While most people continue to build up their beliefs and habits, someone who's awakened starts questioning them instead. It's a shift from autopilot to conscious living. The first profound change that occurs when you awaken spiritually is an overwhelming sense of spaciousness, both within and around you. It's as if you've stepped out of a cramped room into an open field. You feel unbounded, limitless. It's not just a physical sensation, but a shift in perspective that alters how you interact with the world. This is the same sensation that washes over you when you watch a mesmerizing sunset or look into the eyes of a baby. These moments, brief as they may be, have a stilling effect on your mind. They pull you away from the incessant chatter of thoughts, worries, and plans, and offer you a taste of expansive nothingness. It's in these slivers of time that you're reminded of a simpler, deeper reality that exists beyond the complications of human life. As you awaken, this feeling of spaciousness becomes more persistent and intense. It's no longer fleeting. It starts to take root. The barriers that once seemed so solid between you and the world, even the perceived barriers of your own body, begin to blur. It's as if you've been living in a small pond all your life, and now you find yourself in the ocean, unable to see where it ends. Philosopher Alan Watts once said, "You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself." In this expanded state, you become aware that you're not just a separate entity confined to the boundaries of your skin. You start to feel interconnected with everything around you, as if you and the world are part of the same flowing tapestry of existence. Though it might sound disorienting, this newfound spaciousness can be incredibly grounding. Because when you're no longer confined by limitations, whether they're mental, emotional, or even physical, you have more room to grow, to breathe, to be. You might notice a lightness in your step, as if you're walking on air, or feel a greater tolerance for situations and people you found challenging before. Simple activities become profound. For example, drinking a cup of water can feel like a communion with the essence of life. Watching the wind sway the trees can seem like a dance of energies, each one playing its part in a greater whole. The spaciousness that accompanies spiritual awakening is not emptiness, but a fuller, richer experience of life itself. It's a magnified awareness that makes even the mundane magical and turns the finite into a doorway to the infinite. The second transformation you'll notice during spiritual awakening is a surge of new liveliness and innocence, as if you shed layers of old skin to reveal a fresher, more authentic version of yourself. This experience is akin to a rebirth. Your previous life, built on ingrained thoughts and beliefs, crumbles away to make space for something purer. In many ways, the awakening process is like a metaphorical death. Your old ways of thinking, established patterns, and entrenched beliefs all dissolve. This can be terrifying for most people because it feels like losing control or even losing oneself. The mind resists this drastic shift, fearing the unknown landscape that lies beyond the comforting but limiting structures we've built around us. When the old self collapses, what emerges in its place is a renewed sense of life. Some may call it higher consciousness or heightened awareness. Let's just call it pure life. This isn't merely a concept, but a palpable force that courses through you. It infuses every action, every thought, and even every non-thought, with intense aliveness and the kind of innocence that we often associate with childhood. As Carl Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. With awakening, you begin to operate from this core of pure life, stepping away from the facade you had erected for the world and even for yourself. The energy that was previously spent maintaining these illusions is now freed, resulting in a sense of vibrancy and life that you might not have thought possible. This aliveness changes how you interact with life's simplest elements. Imagine watching a leaf fall from a tree. Before, you might have found it ordinary, but now, each swirl and twirl it makes on its way to the ground fascinates you. It's as if you're seeing it for the first time, through the eyes of wonder rather than the jaded lenses of adulthood. But it's not just about being captivated by the external world. The transformation touches the very core of your being. Activities that once felt like chores are now done with a sense of joy and completeness. Be it doing the dishes or listening attentively in a conversation. Your patience seems to expand effortlessly, allowing you to engage more deeply in each moment. The liveliness and innocence you experience are not a regression but an evolution. You're not becoming childlike in an immature sense. Rather, you're reclaiming the authentic self that got buried under years of social conditioning and self-imposed limitations. You become a more genuine version of yourself, invigorated with the freshness of a new beginning. The third transformative sign on the path of spiritual awakening is a newfound sense of freedom, particularly freedom from the tyranny of your own thoughts. It's like you've been living in a house with a radio constantly blaring in the background, and suddenly you find the off switch. You realize that the never-ending commentary inside your head doesn't have to dictate your life. The key to this liberation is awareness. Many people believe they are their thoughts, but it is only when you step back and observe these mental narratives from a place of presence that you can truly see their illusory nature. As you cultivate this mindfulness, a revelatory shift occurs. You recognize that you're not your thoughts, but the awareness that observes them. Philosopher Soren Kierkegaard remarked, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards." In the newfound freedom of your awakened state, you can reflect on your past thoughts and actions with clarity. Yet, you don't remain bound by them as you move forward. You're like an artist who has suddenly found an untouched canvas. You're free to create, react, and respond independent of the old patterns and stories that once constrained you. While this freedom is liberating, it also comes with a responsibility. Once you identify the gap between your thoughts and your true self, it's easy to fall back into old patterns if you're not mindful. Thoughts are sticky. They have a way of drawing you back into the narrative. The freedom you experience isn't a one-time event, but a continuous process. Think of it as a river. It's always there, but you have to consciously choose to step into its refreshing currents rather than get pulled into the muddy banks of habitual thinking. This heightened awareness imbues your interactions with authenticity. You're not just reacting out of habit or social conditioning. You're making choices from a deeper, more genuine place. For instance, listening to a friend's concerns becomes not just a social obligation, but an act of true compassion. You respond to situations not because you have to, but because you are free to choose how to engage, making each decision an expression of your true self. In this space of inner freedom, even the mundane becomes extraordinary. The most simple decision, like choosing what to eat for breakfast, turns into an act of conscious engagement rather than a mindless routine. The fourth sign of spiritual awakening is developing a unique friendship with silence. Silence is often underrated in a world addicted to noise, distraction, and endless chatter. But as you progress on your spiritual journey, silence becomes not just a fleeting experience, but a close companion. Many people spend their lives searching for peace in external situations, whether it's through relationships, career successes, or even vacations. However, spiritual awakening lifts the veil, revealing that the serenity you've been seeking externally is actually nestled within you all along. There's a profound realization that you are enough just as you are. This newfound friendship with silence can manifest in various ways. For some, it leads to a literal quieting down, like taking fewer phone calls or speaking less but saying more. For others, it pulls them away from situations or relationships that no longer serve their highest good. You may find yourself leaving a job that drains you or stepping out of relationships that are toxic. These changes happen almost effortlessly because your inner silence gives you the courage and clarity to make these decisions. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. In your silence, you start to hear the whispers of your own soul. It's like having a compass that always points towards authenticity. This silence becomes a sanctuary, allowing you to recharge and gather your thoughts. In fact, you start to value moments where you can be alone, undistracted by the external world. Being in touch with this inner quietude also means you no longer seek validation from outside. There's no need for external applause when your inner being is suffused with peace. For example, social gatherings or events, which perhaps used to be a way to seek validation, become opportunities for genuine connection or even introspection. You become comfortable in your own skin, whether you're in a crowded room or spending an evening alone. This transformation even permeates the mundane aspects of life. Simple activities like taking a walk or doing household chores become opportunities to cultivate this inner silence. It's like carrying a sanctuary with you wherever you go. Silence turns from being a mere absence of noise to a rich, full presence of its own. You begin to appreciate the depth it brings to your life, allowing you to engage with the world from a place of completeness rather than lack. Silence, thus, is not an empty void, but a powerful space brimming with potential, waiting to enrich every facet of your existence. The fifth and final sign of spiritual awakening is an extraordinary sense of light-heartedness. It's like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders and you're floating in a sea of tranquility. You see, the mind loves to label things. It gives us a false sense of control. But these labels can become burdensome over time, locking us into rigid patterns of behavior and thought. As you awaken spiritually, these mental tags start to lose their grip. Imagine having a closet full of clothes tagged with labels: work attire, casual wear, special occasions. Suddenly, you realize you can wear anything, anytime, and each choice feels just right. Similarly, when the mental labels dissolve, a spontaneous freedom ensues. Your actions and reactions come from a space of authenticity, not from societal expectations or preconceived notions. This liberation brings forth a new phase in your life. It's like experiencing a second birth within the same lifetime. This transformation is one of innocence and joy. It's akin to a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, no longer crawling but flying, embracing its newfound freedom in the vast open sky. The poet Rumi aptly said, "You are born with wings, why prefer to crawl through life?" In this stage of awakening, you not only find your wings but realize they were there all along, waiting for the perfect moment to unfurl. Spiritual awakening isn't a trend or a fad. It's a profound inner revolution. It changes not just how you view the world, but how you engage with it. To the mind focused on worldly accolades, spiritual awakening might seem like nonsense. But to those who have glimpsed its transformative power, it becomes the very fabric of existence. Just as only a parched man can understand the profound beauty of a single drop of water, so too can only a soul yearning for deeper meaning truly grasp the invaluable wisdom and silence that comes with awakening. Awakening is not a journey everyone is prepared for, but if you're ready, it will find you. It's like discovering a treasure in your own backyard. What you've been searching for far and wide is already within you, waiting to be unearthed. When you're ready to find it, it won't be able to hide. Thank you for watching. If this resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and share this video. For deeper engagement, consider joining our membership or supporting us on Patreon. Until next time, be well and walk in the light of your own awakening. Goodbye.